finally. Come on, get it. Oh. Back over to grass flats, but today we're starting off with Topwater. Oh yeah, and that's what the Topwater produces, is bigger trout. The old trusty matrix mullet. Let me see if I can get another one real quick. These with Topwaters, you want to bomb it out there as far as you can possibly throw. Just walk the dog back in. Just short little twitches, rod tip down, slowly reeling in your slack. And that matrix mullet's going to make little Z patterns on the surface, which looks like a wounded mullet, which is what we're trying to imitate right now. There's a wounded mullet. Got several mullets riding over these grass beds, and oh, I just got slapped. Slapped again, slapped again, slapped again. Oh, he missed it. Come on, get it. Oh, come on. Oh, come on, get it, little buddy. Got it. Oh, finally. 25 smacks later. And that is how you do it, baby. And that's what makes it so much fun. You can sit there and watch them smack on that thing all morning. We got cloudy conditions. That's what we're looking for. Here we go. Oh, missed it. I can't believe it. That's part of fishing Topwater. Even though you got 2 sets of treble hooks, and you think you would never miss a fish, you do. But we're on some fish right now, so all you gotta do is throw it back out. Fishing Topwater though, it is remarkable how the fish just grow up in size. Let me get a hold of this fish before I talk to you guys. You do not want to catch one of these hooks in the hand. That's beautiful. We've been fishing these grass flats all across Lake Pontchartrain all fall. Getting a lot of fish, but also a lot of throwbacks. Like, that's what I'm saying. When you catch a day where it's a Topwater day, I figured let's try it today with these clouds. The fish grow up in size. We already got some 2 1/4, 2.5 pounds. And then this is like the average size here. When you talk about fun, guys, it's amazing. Now, typically I like it pretty calm. It's just more fun, easier to see the strikes. Got a little roll coming in right now, got a little breeze. We're just kind of listening for the strikes. On that one, I didn't even see it. All right, guys, what we're doing today is we're throwing the matrix mullet, multiple colors. That's what we're starting off with. Making long bomb casts over the grass beds. You know, we're catching a few tight to the bank, a lot way off the bank, but what you want to do is put your rod tip straight down and just walk the dog. Walk the dog means it's a zigzag pattern. The lure's gonna go left, right, left, right. Very common action for a topwater lure. And that walk the dog motion is what really triggers strikes on some beautiful speckled trout. And we've been having a lot of success with this morning. You want to make really long casts and you want to fan cast. So I threw to the right. This time I'm going to throw to the left. When you're fishing these big grass flats like this, you know, you want to basically, you know, we call it fan casting. It just means 360 casting around the boat. The fish can be tight to the bank, way off the bank. You got to find them. And that's what we're finding today, is that we may go, you know, 100 yards, which is 5-10 minutes without a bite. And then boom, 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 fish, fish, fish. They're in these little tight groups, little tight schools. And it's been a really nice morning. Got some nice cool weather, great cloudy conditions, and this is something that I highly recommend throwing topwaters in conditions like this. You know, socked in clouds like this, you can't beat it. Can't beat it. We're trying to imitate wounded mullets right now, which we're seeing some over these grass flats. And as the day progresses, we'll probably switch on over to the X-Shad finger mullet and get some slow rolling out on the bottom. That was the blow up of the year. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure it's a redfish. That was a significant strike. That's the beauty part about these matrix mullets and fishing these grass flats. You'll catch the reds and the trout on them. Fantastic lure also for bass. Fantastic. There's nothing more fun than coastal inshore fishing speckled trout and redfish with topwater. This is my numero uno favorite thing to do. Second would probably be sight fishing reds. But it just don't get any better than this. To visually see the aggressiveness of these fish come out of this, that whole fish's body came out the water to hit this. It was awesome. All right, well, we cut this fight a little short. We didn't just hold the camera the whole time. We're coming at you about I had to come to the back of the boat there. So we cut this fight a lot shorter than what really happened. We're coming at you about, I don't know, 15 minutes later, because this was a battle royale here. Look at this dude. That is seriousness. Let's see if we can get his head in the net. Here we go. Oh, Lord. Oh, that matrix mullet is absolutely buried in his mouth. Look at that. All right, look at that. Look at a matrix mullet, guys. I saw this entire fish's body come out of the water and hit that mullet. That's a big dude. Oh, hold tight. That's a big dude. Watch the whole fish come out the water and eat that mullet. Now, I don't think there's any way of getting that lure out of his mouth without really injuring him. I'm just gonna cut it. I'm gonna let this big dude go. There we go. All right, whenever you're releasing a fish after a hard battle like that, get their tail, get his head in the water, And you just gotta go back and forth till he swims out of your hands. This fish here went through a war just now. See if we can revive him. There he goes. He just swam up naturally out of my hands, and that's how you got to do it. Hold him by the tail, get some water moving through his gills and his mouth, and most of the time they'll swim out of your hands. Redfish are pretty hardy. All right, let's try to get on some more trout. I've had enough of those. That was my workout for the morning. Got a double trouble here. Pass off the camera. There it is. Yours beats mine by a ton. Now look how the size of the fish drop off a little bit when you go from the top waters to just a jig. But let's talk about this now. This is our mullet X-Shad on a 1/4 ounce black platinum. So the top water this morning, it wasn't unbelievable, but it was solid. And all the fish were very nice. That's typically how it is when you're on a nice flat early in the morning. Top water is what you want to throw first. And what we were noticing this morning is when we would get a bite, it'd be multiple bites on a cast. The fish would stay with it aggressively. He'd swipe at it, miss, keep swiping at it, miss, keep swiping at it. He would just stay with it. He wouldn't give up, and eventually they would get it. Now we've been doing this for about an hour and a half now. Still getting an occasional top water bite on the Matrix mullet, but it'd be just one quick swipe and then they would give up on it. So then Jordan switched over to the X-Shad finger mullet, started catching 3 to my 1. And now we're transitioning over. And that's just the way it goes. You know, when you're top water fishing, it don't last forever. Typically, it's early in the morning. Sometimes it can last all day, sometimes. But more often than not, it's gonna be your first 30 minutes, first hour of daylight, and then you're gonna wanna transition over to something like we're throwing now, or maybe a jerkbait. The reason we're going with this finger mullet X-Shad is because that's all we're trying to imitate today. And this is one of my favorite ones. This looks so lifelike. And that's what a top water's imitating, this little finger mullet. This is what this lure's imitating. And that's what's hanging on these grass flats. As it gets colder, you get more into a finfish ecosystem that the fish are, or not ecosystem, a finfish forage that the fish are, you know, the speckled trout are chasing down rather than shrimp. You know, the colder it gets, the more they get honed in on mullets and pogies and such. So I'm gonna keep chunking this X-Shad for a while, see if we can put a few more in the boat, but it's already been a great day using the top waters. Anytime you can catch 10 or 12 on top, it's awesome. See if we can get one on this cast right here. It's working, and I'm just slow reeling it right over the grass. Oh, just missed him right there. Let's see if I can get another one. The old X-Shad starting to get hot. That was a keeper right there. But yeah, it's funny how I don't know, we might have had one throwback all morning. There he is on the top water, and then you switch to the jig. Oh, missed him again. That was a throwback. You switch to the jig and you gotta deal with some throwbacks on these grass flats. We've been doing this all fall, slow rolling an 1/8 ounce and 1/4 ounce right over the flats. about 2 to 3 foot of water. There he is. Wherever you find one, they're in little patches of 5 and 10. You're gonna get multiple bites real quick. Just like that right there. Get him off and get on some more. There he is. Come on in, little buddy, come on in. Ski him on in. There we go. He's close to the keeper. We're gonna let this one go though. He's close. We got enough for today. But the key to this shallow water flat fishing is long cast. I very rarely use 7-foot rods because we don't fish a lot of shallow water around here, but a 7-footer, maybe some, like our 14-pound matrix mono would work good. That way it's distance. Distance is the key. You know, like right now we're in this light chop. The boat's making a lot of noise. So you're very rarely gonna get bit real close to the boat. So distance in casting is extremely important. Good trout. I'm gonna hurry up and throw him on the ground. We got on a little roll right here. Keeping this boat in position in this wind has been pretty tricky today. That's what you got to do, is try to remember where you had a bite, because these fish are very tightly schooled up. We'll go 10-20 minutes without a bite, and when we get a bite, we're getting 4 or 5 bites in a row. These grass mats are just really big, really wide. Fish can be, they're all spread out in here, but they're in little schools, very small schools. I can't remember exactly where I threw to catch that one. Maybe, oh, that was him. I was going to say, right up in there, I guess. That was him. Look, pull my tail down. Pull my skirt down. See if we can get him. Oh, that's a good one. Come on, baby, come on. Shake that head. The old yellow mouth shake. That's what you want them to do. That's what makes them so much fun. This trout, notorious for getting a lure in their mouth and trying to shake it out of its mouth the whole way in. A lot of times I've seen them spit the lure, not know it, and they just keep shaking on the surface. Again, on that Matrix X shad and the finger mullet color. Beautiful. A little trout here. We're gonna go ahead and close up this video here. We showed you how fun it is to throw the Matrix mullet topwater. Went over some techniques with that, and when it's time to switch over to the finger mullet X shad, catching trout all morning right here over the grass beds in Lake Pontchartrain. I hope you enjoyed this episode of DockSide TV. Hope you learned a few tips and techniques. Remember to always throw topwater when you got nice cloudy mornings like this. Make sure you get your hands on some X shads. They are extremely effective lures. and relatively new to the Matrix Shad family. If you want to get your hands on some of these boxes, on some of these lures here, make sure to subscribe to our Matrix bait box. And until next time, good fishing.